A little last minute tonight with this setup, but we got there. I realized I created all the thumbnails and everything the other night, and then just completely forgot to schedule the live streams, which was you know, smart thing to do, right? But we're here now, so it don't matter. Okay, we're getting started in a sec. Just getting the laptop spun up, just making sure that Twitter is X streaming is responding because I did schedule this at the very last second. What does it say now? All right, my computer clock's like a little bit fast for some reason, saying 27. So we'll see what time it hits X, and then we'll get started. But YouTube is live. And let's do a sound check as well, just while we wait for X. Hold on. A quick sound check as well. Let me check the sound on this. Hold on. Look, come on. Sound check. Setup, yep, sound is good. Sound is looking good. Okay. Oh, and X is finally caught up, so now we're live everywhere except LinkedIn because nobody likes LinkedIn. But anyway, I digress. Let's get to the. Oops. Okay. Let me try again. Oh. Okay. That was a little bit weird. Camera wouldn't set up then, but we got it. So, oh, you know what? I'm really looking forward to learning Go in the next section because I've already been through. I went through like Go for beginners like early on in like this year, but I didn't actually really build anything with it. Just like I read through things, and that's not a good way to learn anything. It's a good way to kind of get some familiarity and understanding of like syntax and choices of paradigm in the programming language and what's available and stuff. But it doesn't help you build anything. So it'd be good to get into that and actually get writing some stuff because I want to get. I think Go is a language I definitely want to get really good with. Because I think you can just get very, very productive with Go due to its simplicity and, a lot of people say obviously, the standard library is great. You can compile it and, just create executables that can just run anywhere. I just really like the premise of it. And just sounds like it's going to be a good one. So we're at module 12 again. We sort of skipped over the build an AI agent in Python because we did the Python course, and then when we got to like the site generator, this got added in later, so it kind of messed up the ordering. And also, I think I'm pretty sure I completed everything on the bookbot one Python, but I think there's maybe some things added afterwards. Same with here because we pretty much we completed it. We got the certificate, so I don't know how that kind of happened. Maybe I'll ask. Maybe I'll tweet Lane, see if he can give me an answer. Because it's great if they're just adding more to the courses and stuff. Then that's great. But I'll never finish. I'll never finish it. Give me a break, Lane. Come on. I said I was going to complete this in a year. And still hold up to that. I mean, we'll see, but that is what I'm hoping to still hold up to. And looking ahead, like the next one's going to be learn Go and then learn HTTP clients in Go. That's a long one, but I imagine we'll probably get through. That's 188 lessons, but I think we'll probably get through them quite quick because some are going to be very, very simple to begin with. Much like when we did guess stage structure and algorithm started off that way, but definitely like object orientated and learn to code in Python and stuff we whiz through them very, very quickly. So hopefully when we get to these ones, things move a little bit faster. I'm actually really excited to do SQL because I haven't done SQL in ages. I've been stuck in front end land for way too long. So that's going to be fun. And then this one will be interesting. I think I would consider it a win if by the end of the year, I think when I started in January, so by next January, if I can complete all these courses, 23 courses, I think I'd be happy. I think these extra ones, maybe we do them sort of here and there. But we'll see. We'll see how we do, because I think that's going to be a real push, because some of these are going to get, in depth, and it's going to, take a while to get through some of them. So I'm yapping a bit and kind of putting off getting stuck in. So portfolio project, first personal project. So here we go. Let's see what it's going to be. So it's by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Lane Wagner. First personal project. So it's going to be build a personal project on your own, completely from scratch, and submit it to the community for feedback. 4 addicting lessons, a certificate completion, learn online at your pace, 20 hours of content. So what will you learn? You can't truly become a developer if you can't build your own stuff. Theory and foundations are important, but you also need to be able to fly solo. The purpose of this project is twofold: a chance to put your skills into practice and to add another project to your portfolio. Well-built personal projects will help you land interviews and jobs, so make sure you put in the effort. Yeah. So, not gonna lie, I'm kind of scared what's going to be in this one, because it's a bit of a black box, but let's have a look. Okay. Okay, so it says, welcome. It's time to start your first personal project. This is a big step up until this point. You've had extremely granular instructions to follow in the courses and even fairly structured steps to tackle in the guided projects. It's time to take the training wheels off and build something on your own. So, here we go.
Now you've been this far on Boot.dev, you've likely been around the block enough to have heard the term tutorial hell. As in, I'm never going to be a great programmer because I'm stuck in tutorial hell. And while a lot of people have their own slightly different take on the subject, in my opinion, it all comes down to two things. If you're in tutorial hell, it means, one, you're stuck relearning the basics over and over again. You don't have a strong enough understanding to move into deeper concepts and topics. And two, you can fumble your way through tutorials that give you step-by-step instructions, but you can't build anything on your own. Now, the Boot.dev curriculum is designed to force you to go really deep on concepts as we teach them. For example, we don't just teach you Python syntax, we actually take you through object-oriented programming, functional programming, data structures, algorithms, etc. And this directly addresses point number one. It's basically solved by learning the fundamentals really well and then diving into deeper topics rather than jumping from one shiny new programming language or framework to the next. Point number two is somewhat addressed by our guided projects. Now, they do tell you what to build, but we do leave a lot of the figuring it out up to you, which does help you get those reps in so that you can get out of tutorial hell. That said, the guided projects are not a substitute for a strong personal project. This module, Personal Project 1, it's really the time for you to take off the training wheels and build your own idea from scratch. My biggest piece of advice here is to build something that you can actually complete. The confidence and understanding you gain from building your first project from start to finish is incredible. And it doesn't even need to be as complex of a project as some of the guided projects that you've already built. Remember, there you had guidance. Here, you're pretty much on your own. So really try to build something that excites you. Ideally something you've been thinking about for a while, or something that solves a real problem in your life, maybe in a current job. One of my first projects was actually a StarCraft 2 battle simulator on the command line. It just had a hard-coded list of all the units in the game and their damage per second, and it just printed to the console who would win in a one-on-one fight, a zealot or a marine, for example. And the answer, of course, is a zealot. Anyhow, best of luck.
That is some very open instructions, Lane. And that might actually change the course of how the stream's going to go tonight. So it says the goal of this project. So it says, your goal here is not to build something that makes money or even build something that will make its way onto your resume. The goal of this first project is simply to get used to the process of building something from scratch. We want you to get some practice breaking down a project into smaller pieces. Try to spend 20 to 40 hours on this project. Use a programming language you're already familiar with. Commit your code to Get Often and push it up to GitHub. Create a readme.md file for your project. It should explain to the readers what the project is and what it does, how to clone and run it. It's okay, even encouraged to use third-party libraries. That said, make sure that some of the code that you wrote is doing something interesting. You don't want razor-thin wrapper around third-party library to be the only thing you've written. Okay, so to say done with this step, go next. So, choose an idea. The whole point of a personal project is that it's personal. The idea needs to be yours. It's time to fly closer to the sun and break out of tutorial hell. Even if the project you build is simple for now, at least it's yours. Build something that you find interesting. This probably isn't a project that will make its way onto your portfolio or resume, but it's still good to get into the habit of building things that are interesting and useful. Interesting and useful projects have many benefits. They're more fun to work on. They have more interesting and difficult problems to solve. You or someone else might actually use them. They're more likely to grab the attention of other people. Attention from other people can lead to career opportunities. How do I choose an idea? So, 1 second. Okie dokie. Important job of the day done. Now let's have a look at this. So how do I choose an idea? So yeah, I'll just read it again. Use a programming language that you've already at least somewhat familiar with, assuming you haven't written a ton of code outside Boot.dev. Your project should probably be a Python program that runs on the command line. That's fine. I want to provide a few ideas to get your creative juices flowing, but please don't choose a project from this list without at least putting your own spin on it. A text-based adventure game in the terminal. A CLI tool to detect the strength of a password or to validate it. Tic-tac-toe in a T-Kinter GUI. What's a T-Kinter GUI? A tool that creates ASCII art from an image. Let's look at that one. GUI, what's that? Interesting. A tool that creates ASCII art from an image, a command line tool to view Reddit feeds in the terminal, a command line tool to pass a CSV file Pokemon data and lets you search for Pokemon by name, type, etc. Here are some action projects from other students to inspire you. So TK Boyd's, Sudoku Solver, Local Python, No Nutrition CLI, Conway's Game of Life, ASCII 2 Video Player, Final Fantasy 14 database. Don't ask me how I know that. Music player, terminal chat app, Filler RS, Bugjet, Sorter, Donkey Pie Chess, Discourse to HTML, GemPass, it's blah blah blah. Temperature blanket calculator, Notes, Dragon Slayer, Nest Poller, Apartments, Scraper, Weather app. But I don't know how to build X. Your job as a developer is to constantly build stuff that you've never built before. Don't shy away from an idea because you're not sure where to start. Google it, ask ChatGPT, ask the Boot.dev Discord community. I don't really use Discord. You might need to put in an hour of research before deciding. Before starting to decide if your idea is feasible within a 40-hour time frame. But that's fine. Assume that you'll be doing something you've never done before. You have some fundamentals under your belt now. It's time to piece it all together and research as you go. I'm going to come back to this step because I want to have a look at some of these projects because they sound quite cool. But I'm going to go to the next step just to see where we're up to. Getting help. You're going to get stuck. If you don't get stuck, you probably chose an idea that's way too easy. The trick is developing a skill set for getting unstuck. This is a skill that will serve you well and is absolutely necessary in your career as a developer. Get used to Googling. Start with Google. Do some research on your ideas, see what others have done with when building similar projects, see if there are libraries you can install to make your life easier. Use ChatGPT. Talking through your issues with ChatGPT, Rubberduck debugging can be a great way to get unstuck. Don't have ChatGPT write your code for you. You won't learn that way, and you'll be dreadfully slow if you get stuck in that habit. Instead, use ChatGPT to help you think through your problems and ask it to try and find bugs in your code or explain code snippets that you don't understand. Keep in mind, ChatGPT can be confidently wrong, so don't take its word as law. Use it to get back on track, but verify the information it feeds you with other sources. Use Discord, so ask questions of the Boot.dev Discord server. As with all question asking, provide as much context as you can, so that when your fellow students and mentors help, they can efficiently provide you with the information you need. Well, speaking of Rubberduck programming, pretty easy for me. I got one of the most OP Rubberduck helpers in the world. Here he is, Mr. Gandalk. Everybody say hello. Hope everybody likes Mr. Gandalk. He is a good debugging partner. Let's say we're done with that. Let's see what it is. So then submit your repo. If you haven't been keeping track of your project in Git, you should be. Once you have finished your project, pushed up on GitHub, submit the link to your project. Your link should look something like blah blah blah. I hope you've enjoyed this project. It's always good to solidify the things you learn in courses by getting your hands dirty with a real project. So then you submit that. Repository exists and it's public. So we don't have anything there yet. But what we'll do is, I don't think we'll start the project tonight, but what we will do is we will come up with what the idea of the project should be. And I'm gonna have some fun. You know, I've been grinding out like Boot.dev for ages and stuff. I'm gonna have some fun and have a look at some of these projects, see what we can do. Because I do have a big list of sort of ideas that we could potentially use as well. So I'll make another thing of TL draw. Let me sign into TL draw. Just continue Google. Yeah, this is an interesting thing. Page I put together. Roadmap for 2025. Completing Boot.dev, AWS certifications, building my most valuable MVP for me, keeping up the running, starting calisthenics, keep doing live streams while coding, release 52 YouTube videos, release 52 newsletters. Probably going to fail at those two because it's yeah. I'll have to get back in the habit of posting more videos more regularly. This is my leveling up, so diving deeper, building up missing fundamentals, stretching myself with challenges, developing in weaker such new areas, fitter, better communicating speaker, much better writer, content creator, focus more of less, focus on YouTube, consume less, build stuff for me, running, calisthenics, peace of mind, removal of FOMO, deleting X off phone, agreeing on a 6 month weekly schedule, removing YouTube usage on work days completely. I haven't done that one, I have to say, but I've definitely reduced like the amount of YouTube and unsubscribed from pretty much everything. One AI short film, streamline my processes, single streams of work, utilize modules, outsource some of the work, ? Yeah, so like around like YouTube videos, newsletters, projects, like that, those are things. So let me create another one. It's going to be Boot.dev. And then this first page is going to be first personal project. And I actually also did have, I'm just going to not share for a second, just while I find this. Just need to find my thing of sort of like ideas. Hold on. Oh, that was it. Just trying to find another page on this. No, I'm pretty sure I had. Huh. I'm sure I had a hold on, I've got to. I'm sure I had a place where I had more um things on like what projects I was doing. A year ago. It's not the video. Hold on. I'm sure on one of these. Oops. I'm sure on one of these streams I had a list of sort of projects. Let me go back through my old live streams. What's my most popular one? Python. Let's have a look through the old live stream. I'm sure I put like list of projects down here. This is when I was doing live streams, but repurposing them as like videos. Let's have a look. Gosh, I remember doing these. I think we expand on it. Here we go, projects. So we mentioned things like, yeah, my 3D portfolio, a simple 2D game exploration, like a CLI tool of some kind. Keep going. Sorry, there you are, my guy, featured in there. Let's go back to the projects part. Yeah, so like these ideas, I'll just write them down, but like I don't want to do clones of things. It's just like it's boring to do. So I'll just put them down. I'll brainstorm. So like so 3D project, CSS, Zen, Garden, inspired portfolio update. Was there any other interesting one there? Yeah, some sort of like CLI tool, but I don't want to do that until level in like Go. I don't want to do it in like Python really. I don't want to kind of focus too much on Python. It's like, you know, it's just kind of neither here or there. So I think for this project, nah, not really kind of doing that. Unless there's something interesting that, you know, interestingly different I could do. Have a look at my task thing that I did. Nope. There's nothing on keep as well. I have some ideas on my other checklist. I did have another one. I had like a color by numbers project idea, but I think that might just, you know, kind of go on a little bit too long. So let's take a break for a second and let's have a look at some of the cool projects that other people have built. So we'll put this to the front. Let's have a look at some of these ones. So Boyd simulation in Python 3, a demonstration of emergent behavior in the form of flocking bird-like objects or Boyds. So what's happening here? There are essentially three rules that determine a Boyd's behavior towards another Boyd. Alignment. Adjust your heading according to the average heading of your neighbors. Cohesion. Move towards the center of mass of your neighbors to avoid crowding. Move away from any Boyd you get too close to. Boyd, yeah, this is kind of cool. Left click to add new. Oh, it's just a video, right? Whoops. Just me being silly. Right click to add predators. That's cool. Knowledge of basic CLI usage, Python 3. That is cool. I like that. Tweaking settings. I'm always fascinated. There's, you know, how much can you make from so little code? Let's have a look how much code's in here. Yeah, this is like so basic. TK inter. Is it TK inter? Is it T kinter? Or like I don't even know how you say it. Yeah, interesting. And then how much code is the actual like Boyd PI thing? That's a fair bit more, but you know, it's very smart. Very smart. Vector 2. So overriding the base class of Vector 2, right? Giving it like some methods. It's cool out. I like that. Sudoku solver. So Sudoku solver. So backgrounder. Sudoku is one of the most well-known. Oh, it's 33 commits. Is that it to make it? Damn, this guy finished it in like 3 days. that is impressive. That very impressive. So background, Sudoku is one of the most well-known constraint satisfaction problems. I've always been interested with it. Usage, execute program, run that. Or in the main script, you should then be faced with the main menu. Sudoku solver. Auto generation algorithm. That's interesting. Fair bit of code gone into that one. Local Python, what's this? Local Python. Welcome to the Local Python project. This project allows you to write and execute Python code directly in your web browser, providing a convenient and lightweight environment for experimenting, testing, and learning programming. Interesting. No nutrition CLI. No nutrition CLI is a simple command line application that provides detailed nutritional information about foods. It uses data from USDA Food Data Central. I like it. Some funky like CLI effects. That's kind of cool. Conway's Game of Life. Game of Life, also known as simply as Life, is a cellular automation. Based on simple rules, cells can live, die, or revive their neighbors. So rules: cells in life are elements of z squared. Their neighbors are 8 adjacent points horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. Each cell can either be alive or dead at each step in time. The state of a cell can be based on the following rules. All that, yeah, that's interesting. ASCII to video player. This sounds kind of crazy. 17 commits, what the heck? This one's the same, like, did it in like a week. Ever wanted to know how your favorite video would look like in ASCII art? Well, now you can watch ASCII video art player. Can you hear it? Can't hear it. There's no actual sound attributed to it, but interesting one as well. Final Fantasy 14 DB. Final Fantasy 14 Wikipedia table parser. So Python command line tool helps convert the Final Fantasy 14 Wikipedia tables into CSVs files for crafting professions. Yeah, simple, I guess. I like that. Music player. 3 commits. 3 commits all in the same day. Play, pause, play previous and skip songs. Allows the users to add, remove songs from a playlist. Blah, blah, blah. Game library, yeah. It's not a lot at all, is it? Terminal chat app. That's cool. Filler RS. A Rust clone of the Game Pigeon game filler created as a project for Boot.dev backend developer course. Install the Rust 2, chain Rust up. Filler is a very simple game. Here's how it's played. The game starts with randomly generated grid of colored tiles. To begin with, player 1 owns the bottom left tile and player 2 owns the top right tile. On each player's turn, they choose a color to change their tiles to, and they gain control of any unowned tiles of that color adjacent to the tiles they already control. The game is over when all tiles are owned. The player with the most tiles wins. That's cool. Bug.jet. Bug.jet is a tool for merging transactions from multiple financial accounts into a common format. I created it to automate a portion of my budgeting process. It's nice. Export trade transaction, create config files, run Bug.jet. Run Bug.jet once for each of the exported data. Example. For example, 4 inputs and the corresponding merged output. Notice that the first 2 inputs have duplicated transactions, which are not duplicated in the output. Notice also that Bug.jet can handle debits and credit cards at the same column or in different columns and handle different means for positive and negative amounts. Sorter. Visual sorter, the Pygame visualization. Oh yes, this is the image visualization of like quick merge sort, insertion, selection bubble. Like that's cool. Seen those before. Donkey. I said donkey. Donkey, a flashcard memorization app in your terminal. Wow. This was more than a small project, guarantee. July 2024, he started on it. Crikey. Yeah, he spent a good few months on that. Let's have a look at it again. Looks pretty good. Oh, he did it in Go as well. Donkey is a simplified terminal-based flashcard application designed to offer the core benefits of spaced repetition without the complexity overhead of a fully featured GUI app like Anki. Yeah, I like that. That sounds cool. Let me get a little bit closer. Add card, back. That's cool. Yeah, simple. I like it. Nice formatting as well in like the UI, where it's all like centralized and stuff. I like it. Definitely took a while to create that. That's good though. Pie chess. Simulating a game of chess. That's cool. So you use algebraic notation. So moves white's knight and so white knight from b1 to c3. That's cool. There isn't logic for casting nor checkmate. In the case of checks, the natural conclusion for these states is that the game is over when the king is captured. For the time being, I will leave the game in this playable adjacent state, and after I revisit it, after I catch up on studies. That's cool. That must have been difficult to build. I'm really surprised when like sort of see people, creating these and it's the first project and like July 6th, like, it's like less than a week to do that. That's crazy. I can't imagine building anything like this in a week. You got your test runner. Chess from game. That's cool. Discord to HTML. What does this bot do? This bot joins guilds and using slash commands takes their forum channels and converts them into static HTML. This allows the content of Discord forums to be exploited and viewed as static websites. Clone the repo, install dependencies. Yeah, it's not really a thing to show for that, but sounds good. GemPass. GemPass, a quick, simple CLI tool for password generation with clipboard support. By default, GemPass produces 16 character-long password consisting of uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers and symbols, and automatically adds it to your clipboard. Yeah, that's nice. Really simple. So use lowercase, use uppercase, use alphabetic set, excluding lowercase, uppercase, and uppercase out to increase readability. Use numbers, use symbols, use reduce set of symbols, which correspond to shift plus 1 through 8. Version, get the version must be used alone. Get description, available functionality must be used alone. It's a simple one as well. Image to ASCII, so like similar to the video one. Wow, holy heck. That is impressive. Two commits. What? Well, subnet calc. A command line IP subnet calculator provides network information given an IP address and a subnet mask. Temperature blanket calculator. What the heck is a temperature blanket? Temperature blanket is a blanket where each row or section represents each day of a year using different yarn colors. Excuse me. Different conditions. For more details, see here. All right. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. I like that idea. Notes. Simple program for creating notes / lists in the terminal. I like it. Simple Dragon Slayer. What is this? This is my first personal project for Boot.dev. Of all the suggested ideas that were interesting to me, but I decided to go with a text-based game. It took me 1 week to complete. I had many ideas for additional features I could have incorporated, but I wanted to continue to the next course and not spend overly long on this. The challenges, the control flow was probably the hardest part of this game, getting the behavior I wanted based on certain user interactions when things did or didn't happen. The usability method was another challenge that I found myself continually tweaking throughout the project. It's not as clean as I'd like, and it does too many things. I could have extracted some of what it does into the methods to make it more modular. That's all right. While I learned, this project was a lot of fun to work on. Coding, this was almost like playing an actual game, although not quite. It required a surprising amount of code for such a simple game. One thing I think I'm getting better at is naming functions, especially as specifically as possible. Otherwise, later I have to go back and change something. I also tried to stay as organized as possible. I made each function do the minimal amount of work to make everything more modular aside from the above method. For example, I have two functions named print weapon choices, get weapon choices, concept learn / practice, getting user input, validating user input, object-oriented programming, and functional programming. Features, getting user input and validation. During the battle, players are prompted with options to choose from. If they don't enter a number or a number outside the range, they'll be prompted again. I also use the time module to delay execution for more realistic game experience. Okay. You put on the dragon ring and you get sucked into a portal. Teleporting. Dragon fight. I am Oolong. You will regret challenging me, Michael. 1 attack, fireball, freeze, tornado, flood. Enter the number. Use freeze on Oolong for 15 mana. Oolong is weak to ice. Oolong takes 22 damage and has 78 health remaining. Oolong uses wind gust on you. You take 30 damage and have 70 health remaining. Weapon class system, yeah. So players can choose from 4 different weapons or class, which will determine the abilities they can use. All classes inherit from the base class, which handles most of the logic, whereas the weapon classes handle the specifics, abilities, element, damage multiplier. The base class handles most of the behind-the-scenes work, such as calculating the damage. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Very unique. Nest poller. Okay, simple polling service for the Nest thermostat. Apartments scaper. Apartments.com scraper. Oh, it says scrape here, but then I think it says scaper. The apartments.com scraper is given a URL for our outlined area for apartments.com, and over the course of time it is running. It will scrape and update the user on new apartments that appear fitting to the description they want. If a new apartment appears, it will send a message to a Discord channel. The user can also ask to view all apartments currently listed that fit their description. Run an SQLite. Weather app. Weather app displays weather information for the city entered by user on the app. Blah blah blah. Yeah, so just a simple weather app. That's cool though. I mean, I might have to walk away and have a think about this in terms of like ideas. because I'm a bit low on the ground. So like 3D project, see, these are things that are not really gonna like utilize the stuff that we've already kind of been through in the courses. So let me have a little look at. I think I should build something in Python because I spent this time going through it. I should use it in a project to start with. Yeah, and just kind of cement that sort of like learning. Let's ask Rock to do some back and forth with me. So hold on. Right, what do we want? Auto. So I'm gonna ask yeah, because in terms of ideas, yeah, these are fine, but like they're all covering other stuff. Let me check my thing on this. Hmm. Right. What tools would be useful for me? A couple of ideas I had. I don't know how useful this would be through Python, but one thing I'll just like kind of think it out. So one of them was a color by numbers app, um, live stream chat. Don't you call it like a live stream chat one command. So I guess being able to sort of like run a simple command and like launch all the sort of the chats that I've kind of got going. They're live right now because I had them on this like other screen on a different computer, but I can't check them and stuff because like it's hard to switch between, and I can't type back through it either very easily because it's like on a separate thing. And I've got this keyboard here. It'd be nice if I could just like open a browser, or it opens the browser windows for me. I don't know what that would kind of look like. So it's like launches all the live stream chats I have running currently. That was just like another idea. What would be another one? Useful. Got to keep it small. It's got to be a small first kind of personal project. Just one off the top of my head. Daily. I guess like daily writing. CLI tool. So something that gets takes me through a templated process for writing daily. Templated, not a word. No, I think it's a word. Can use it simply to write a Obsidian markdown file that can be sent. Actually, maybe it could be put some. Let me think about it. Daily writing tools, daily writing CLI tools, something that takes you a template process for writing daily. I guess like hold on. Prompts me in various ways each day to pull out good ideas and convert them into content. Hold on, let me just pull it. Could possibly send them off to X API, etc. Yeah, that'd be interesting. That's quite a good one. So I launched the tool. It takes me through sort of like like a templated like processed to get me thinking, what have I thought about today? Tackle it from like different ways, I guess. So start with one templated approach, and then maybe case like expand it and stuff. This is an idea that I wanted to sort of like expand into sort of like a more of a full app. I mean, it could be daily, it could be weekly writing tool. Just for long form or short form too. script writing for YouTube. Script writing for YouTube, maybe help me speed that up a little bit. That'd be useful. Let's have a look. Let's have a think about some more useful apps for me. What else? Simple. It's gotta be simple. Like, get rid of Grok for now. Do my own thinking. What could I do on a daily basis? Yeah, these are kind of just like highlight. How do I do like a strike through? Can I do a strike through? Do like, oops, nope. Like Alt S or FNS or. If I right click it, does it do anything? No. I think we'll highlight that. We'll highlight that. Another idea. Just for me. Yeah, just for me. Has my channel IDs, etc., and just calls the various APIs to get the chat window link. I'm not even sure if that's like possible. A daily slash weekly writing CLI tool. What else would be useful in my kind of like workflow? Just thinking of like, you know, some simple things that I do kind of like on a maybe a daily or weekly basis that could be sort of like sped up by having just a useful little project or some, you know, something. Do it in Python. Should be done in Python. Should be done in Python. Now have a look at some of the ideas again. I do like the idea of an adventure game. Could do a Pokemon versus game. So like Pokemon versus like a top trumps game. So top trumps game. Give it to Pokemon or select to somehow and a I guess like a category and see who wins. That's it. Oh, not bold. Whoops, not that either. How'd you highlight? Not sure what the shortcut for that is. These are the ones that come to mind. So I don't think I should kind of like stray too far from this anyway. only going to spend a little bit more time and then call it for tonight. So I have to like break it down and stuff like that. Yeah, I'll have a think about it. Live stream chat one command. I guess I like have to look at viability of this one. So I guess like let me just ask Grok rather than Google and stuff, you know. So can I use the YouTube API to get the URL for a live stream chat window? The YouTube Data API does not directly provide a method to retrieve the URL for a live stream chat window. However, you can construct the chat URL if you have the video ID of the live stream, and the API can help you obtain that video ID. Here's how you can approach this. Steps to get live stream chat window URL using the YouTube API. Obtain the video ID of the live stream. Use search.list method to find live events for a specific channel. Set the part parameter to snippet channel ID to the target's channel ID and event type to live to fill all the live broadcasts. So it becomes like that. The response will include a list of items where each has a video ID for live broadcasts. Look for snippet live broadcast content to set to live. Construct the chat URL. Once you have the video ID, you can manually construct the chat URL using the format. Okay, so like if I do this, and if I change the thing to, I've got one here, so Z, YY dash 4 bleb, L4. That work? Something went wrong. The ZYY-4 bleb L4. Let's write that. Live chat. And is underscore pop out equals 1. So if I go to YouTube now, I'm not logged into YouTube, is that why? No, I am. So I go to my channel, I look at this. So then pop out chat. Okay, not quite sure what was wrong with that when I was trying to do that, but there it is. So what's the difference between that and... Huh. Maybe I just... Oh, I instead of L. Right, okay. Okay, yeah, so you could do that. Option retrieve the live chat ID for chat messages. If you need to interact with chat, fetch messages, you blah blah blah. API key requirements, limitations, permanent URL workaround. If you want a permanent chat URL, it doesn't require updating the video ID for each stream. You can use a script to dynamically fetch the current live stream's video ID as described in, for example. Bscript can give script the video ID from embed live stream channel ID and update the chat URL accordingly. Oh, you need your API. Oh, API key, right, that's fine. Type video. Yeah, okay. Construct the chat URL. Notes, API key requirement. Limitations to chat URL is not directly provided by the API, but constructing it. So permanent URL workaround. If you want a permanent chat URL that doesn't require updating video ID for each stream, you can use a script to dynamically fetch the current live stream's video ID as described in, for example, a PHP script can, yeah. Just curious if I look at that. So it's my channel ID. Oh. Okay. Well, if I had the channel ID, I guess it. Make search, so example workflow, make search list API call to get the video ID of the current live stream. Constructed that. If embedding test the URL in an iframe to show the embed domain parameter matches your website, blah, blah, blah. If you need specific code examples in Python or JavaScript automated process, let me know. Can you give me an example with Python? I'm not going to take it, but just out of curiosity. And then guess what I'll look for is, can I also do the same for Twitch and X? So you'd have to install Google API Python client and channel ID. Can Python open a web browser tab? Oops. Oh. Construct chat URL. Can I do similar for the for streaming on X and Twitch as well? Yes, you can use Python to retrieve live stream information, open browser tabs, live chat windows for both X and Twitch, similar to YouTube example. However, the approach differs for each platform due to API chat system. Yeah, below, example, blah, blah, blah. Google tweet and TweetPy, X API 2, credentials, Twitch client ID and client secret from Twitch developer console. You also need OAuth token for authentication, Xbearer token for API key / secret from X developer portal. Know that X's API may have rate limits or require paid tier for some endpoints. I'll look at that in a sec. Replace placeholder credentials and code. YouTube recap Twitch. Twitch provides a robust API for accessing stream information. The streams endpoint can identify live streams for a channel, and the chat URL can be constructed using the channel name. X does not explicitly provide a live stream endpoint, but you can search for posts containing live stream links. Spaces, however, X Spaces do not have a dedicated chat URL like YouTube or Twitch. Instead, you can open the space URL or user's profile. The script below searches. Yeah, let me have a look at X. So, like, if I'm on, so I look at my profile. So if I click this, pop out chat. Liam Walsh Tech is not live. That's a lie. I am live. Huh, that's interesting. But it has got a chat sort of URL you can go to. But that one seems like the simplest one. That's to figure that one, but let me read what it said about the about X. X's API does not have explicitly provide a live stream endpoint, but you can search for posts containing live stream links. Spaces are embedded streams. However, X Spaces do not have a dedicated chat URL like YouTube or Twitch. Instead, you can open space URL or user profile. The script below searches for a user's recent posts to check the live content and opens their profile or a space URL if available. Note that X Spaces are audio based and interaction happens via reactions or join, not a traditional chat window. I have to look into that a little bit more closely because I think there is. I'll have a look at like the I'm not sure on that one. But I think this would be probably a good one to do actually. Just a very, very simple thing that I could probably whip up quite quickly. And just useful for me because then it means I can, pull up all the sort of chat things like, open. So if I went to here and, I opened a new thing and just put like, start live stream chats, something like that, just goes off and does it. Yeah, I think I'll go for that one. Live stream chat one command. I mean, I'll have a look for has anyone built something like this? Has anybody already built something like this? I just want to be able to open all my chat window URLs with one CLI command. Let's see how I can. Any Python script tailored to your needs, compare YouTube. Yeah, existing tools and scripts. Well, actually, hold on. I think I could extend this a little bit and have give the option to so like I guess like store config. So accept config for storage. Checkbox checkbox options for platforms. Yeah, just don't go too crazy, but expand it a little bit. Yeah, that sounds like a cool idea. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I think I'll pick that as my project. And that today, ladies and gentlemen, will be it. So I'm going to stop there. Tomorrow night we'll make a start on this project. Not gonna lie, going to be a little bit nervous because we've not done the whole project from scratch now for a while. But we'll just take it off small bite at a time. We'll have a look at what do we want any CLI tools like for Python just to speed up. I think we'll start very, very simple. If we're finding that the UX experience is not great, we'll go from there. But we'll plan it out more fully next time, and make it a real treat. So this will be interesting. This is kind of like a more of a free reign thing. So I think what we'll probably do is we'll do full stream tomorrow, and then we'll probably next week do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That might be enough to finish it off. I don't know, but for now, have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.